Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the Sport Spectator podcast. Our fellow spectators, thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's having a great start to the week. It's Monday evening here right now. And the most important thing to start with, we are officially in the week of Halloween celebrations. This weekend is when it's going down. Halloween's on a Tuesday, I think, this year. So, yeah, we are in crunch time. I have no idea what my wife and I are going to be for Halloween. I've been hearing rumblings from her. Got a couple things up in the air. Juan, how are you doing, and how is your Halloween prep coming?
What's going on, John? I'm doing pretty good. Definitely want to give a big shout out to Spectator Nation here. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, dude. No, doing well. No, Halloween. That's tough, man. I mean, definitely got a couple costume ideas. Maybe I'll show up as our D line from yesterday because that looked pretty scary. It looked good. I'm not gonna lie. We're obviously gotta talk about yesterday's game in a bit, but no, excited for Halloween. That's always really really fun here in Miami. I don't know, man. You got any costume ideas? What are you thinking?
You just inspired me, actually. I want to be Mike McDaniel now. That'd be a sick costume. I could be Mike McDaniel, and then Valeria could be a dolphin.
Literally, just like a literal dolphin next to you.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that'll fly with her if you just tell her just like, yeah, baby, you just got to dress up as a dolphin. I'm going to look real drippy, real nice. I'm going to go with the Air Force Ones. And then, yeah, you just show up as a sea mammal and we'll call it a day. Let me know how that experiment goes. I actually would be interested in knowing.
Yeah, and it'll be a good excuse. It'd be like the most expensive Halloween costume, but the most basic because I just have to buy I'd have to buy Miami Dolphins hoodie, sweatpants, and then like $400 Air Force One off-whites. But I think I could pull it off. So
dude, that easily wins every single costume contest. I mean, you already got the headset. If you can just find like the mic attachment, get like the aviators. Easy, dude. Easy costume.
Yeah, I'll send an email to the Miami Dolphins equipment staff and be like, hey, I need to borrow the mascot costume just for the weekend. One-time thing. I'll get it right back.
Not a big deal.
So, yep, done. Settled.
Dude, easy. All right. You're winning every single costume contest in Wynwood with that one, like without a doubt.
So, yeah, man. Well, the laughter's over. How about you start us on this wary walk on this Eagles game from last night?
Dude, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. That might come as a surprise after a loss. One of the things that we harped on the pod is you got to beat the best to be the best. And so far, some might argue. I personally wouldn't agree with a couple of these takes that, yeah, since we've lost to Buffalo, to Philadelphia, that, okay, we're just kind of, we're 5-2 because we're beating up on the bad teams. And I kind of disagree with that take, man. I saw the game yesterday, and there was a lot of good stuff. Tua, again, man, he's just looking more and more elite every single week. Tyreek now is officially the fastest player to reach over 900 receiving yards in his first 7 games. And the thing is, we still played pretty good. We put up a fight against arguably one of the top 3 teams in the league, the Eagles, and we still looked really good. Our defense, significantly better every single week. They're looking better and better. And we were banged up. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively, we were banged up. So, I mean, we were in it for a while, obviously more towards the end. It got a bit away from us. That third quarter interception, obviously not great. But there was a lot that I think the team is going to be able to build on. And I think come playoff time, we're going to be just fine, man. The team still looked really, really good. I'm not worried. If someone's asking me if I'm not worried, I'm not worried. I mean, I came in when we lost to Buffalo. I was ready to hit the panic button. I'm just like, man, it's just like every single season. We're going to go down. But no, I'm feeling good, man. I am feeling good. What about you, man? I mean, you got to see 2 Bama quarterbacks head-to-head. We saw a little bit of that flashback from the Natty. I mean, pretty much parallel Tua to Tyreek. Same pass that won you guys the Natty. What did you think?
Wow, that is a sick call. That's true. That is the same sort of pass into double coverage too. That's a good eye, Juan. Wow, that was sick, man. Yeah, it was cool. I'm the same boat as you are. I'm optimistic still. A lot of people are calling frauds. I know I was listening to Pardon My Take this morning, and Big Cat called them frauds. But like frauds that could bounce back. But regardless, we were playing 2v1. It was the Dolphins versus the Eagles and the refs. That was tough. I was talking to my boss today. He was a huge Philadelphia fan. And, he was, of course, being biased. Like, it wasn't the refs, blah, blah. And the thing is, it's like, listen, I'll be the first to say that the Eagles probably were the better team. Go ahead. But the Dolphins had a shot. And, their big plays in like the first half on defense that were taken away by the refs, we needed all of those big plays to go our way. We got them. We made the play. But then it was like taken away from us. And like we needed that perfect game like you alluded to. And, when you're making the plays and the refs are just taking them away from you, it's really hard to continue to play perfect at that level. It just takes so much momentum. And then some plays in the offense as well. But I'm the same way as you, right? Like I'm optimistic. 2 humbling losses in the beginning of the season against 2 good teams. You might make the argument that the Bills are not as good as they're out to be, but it's still a really strong team. And, it's one of those things where the team is proven to be high caliber, one of the most points scored ever in NFL history, still the best performing NFL team in history through this amount of games. And so, the way I look at it is we're taking steps forward, we're tripping, but, Mike McDaniel is so completely focused on like every time we have to get better, every week we get better. So, with Jalen Ramsey coming back and my one last note that I want to make about Jalen Ramsey is that I think the way it's set up is that Jalen Ramsey needs to be a standout player when he does come back, which is, it's putting a lot of pressure on him. But I think for the Dolphins to be the best that we can be, we need Jalen Ramsey to play at the top of his game. And like I said, it's a lot of pressure for him, but I think it's the perfect setup for him. This is the kind of person he is, where it's like he needs that pressure and that attention and like that drive to be his best, like talking smack and on the sidelines. And so I'm optimistic as well, man. And I'm looking forward for this game against the Patriots. It's going to be an interesting one for sure.
Going to be a good bounce back. But on the topic of the refs there, here's an interesting theory for you. Do you think, obviously Jason Kelce being Travis Kelce's brother, he's the starting center for the Eagles. Obviously Taylor Swift, she's been real big in the media lately. NFL been promoting her. But obviously, to your point, the refs, if you looked at the final numbers, Dolphins ended up with 11 penalties. Eagles ended up with 0. Now, I have a running theory that Taylor Swift has something to do about that. And just roll with me for a second. One of her hit songs where the chorus goes, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22 divided by 2 equals 11 penalties. So I'm telling you, the NFL had it out for us. They did not want to see us win. I mean, we were already at a handicap coming into that game. Like Roger Goodell was not going to let Miami, we obviously, our starting center's brother is not dating a celebrity, or he might be. I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing, but I don't know, man. I'm blaming this one on Taylor Swift. It is her fault. I had an album downloaded on my phone. No longer. I deleted it. I think it's her fault. Don't ask me how, but the numbers just line up way too nicely, if you ask me. So Taylor Swift officially public enemy number 1, at least of the podcast, or at least for me. That's all I got to say. The refs killed us. So and it's her fault. That's all I got to say.
Hashtag indict Taylor Swift for NFL collusion.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, like the NFL wants to keep this narrative that like the Kelce's cannot lose. Travis Kelce. And again, ball don't lie, numbers don't lie. He has been playing his best games when, Taylor's been in the audience, which is fair. It's like, I get it, bro. Like your girl's on and in the stands, you want to ball out in front of her. Maybe he's kind of working towards something, maybe she might be, I don't know what it is, but he obviously wants to show out in front of her. And I think that's kind of spilling over onto his brother, maybe some jealousy, some sibling rivalry, where he's like, oh, how come he gets to the pop star and I don't? So, and somehow the NFL is making a narrative out of that. Because again, 11 penalties to their 0. Like, I'm sorry. That's just too big a coincidence. How I'm going to figure this out, I have no clue, but I'm just throwing it out there. So Taylor Swift, not welcome at Hard Rock Stadium, unless that includes like VIP tickets to, I don't know, like a tour, and we get to be in there. Other than that, not welcome. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm down. Dude, I hate the Eagles. as a Cowboys fan too, like watching it last night, came home, Sunday night football, 8:30 p.m. kickoff. It was a great, relaxing weekend. Get on the couch, watch the game, and it's just like, man, like just watching the Eagles kick one of my team's asses again. And dude, I can't stand their coach Sirianni. I was like, he's just one of those guys where you're so happy to have him if you have him, but if you don't, you're like, dude, fuck this guy. And that's what I was saying all night last night, watching the tush pushes and stuff too. I was like, you just want to. I did walk away from my TV last night. Yeah, I think after the interception, it was like, well, it's time to turn the TV off and take a nice early rest. But yeah, man, we'll bounce back. Oh
no, 100%. I'm not worried. Speaking of the tush push, the brotherly shove, or whatever it is they want to call them, which by the way, they apparently got a copyright on that. Who knows what they're going to be doing? But dude, there was a play where Javon Holland, one of our safeties, the guy literally leaped over, didn't do anything to stop the play, just basically went airborne to try to go past the line of scrimmage. And I understood what he was doing. He was like, if my microphone is the line of scrimmage, he literally tried to go over to then grab Jalen Hurts and obviously stop him. Like, all right, good thought. Execution wasn't there. But bro, I see that, and he lands in this awkward manner, and I was like, yikes, that might actually potentially be an injury. And then I get an ESPN notification that he's apparently on a concussion protocol, and I'm like, yikes. I wonder if it would have been that.
He also had that collision with someone else in the secondary, one of the plays. Like, they just slammed into each other on a crossing route. It was a beat-up game for us. It really was. I mean, everyone really gave their everything, which was good to see. Like, the team's hungry. There's no lack of confidence. There's no lack of hunger. But, it's just one of those games you had to play perfect. The Eagles played good. Jalen Hurts had a bunch of mistakes. That first half was up in the air for us. Like, the defense was taking it to him. He was a little rattled. But, yeah, whatever, man, whatever.
No, it's fine. They're obviously not a perfect team. They lost to the Jets. They have their weaknesses. I think it was just tough for us being away. I'm not gonna lie, Philly is a pretty crazy sports town. So I think playing in Lincoln Financial, it's got to be a tough environment. Like playing on prime time, it's rough, man. And even the very first play of the game, and I will hand it off to Philadelphia fans. I will happily give credit where credit is due. They were so loud that we got a delay of game in the very first snap that the Dolphins had on offense. So, fair's fair. All credit to Philadelphia fans. They definitely make that stadium very, very much a hostile environment. But I got to be completely honest, man. Those Kelly Green jerseys that they had, they look like some freaking Hulu Has Live Sports type of jersey. That's what I thought at first when I saw that. I'm like, oh man, like how much money did Hulu pay for those jerseys? And I get it. They're like historic. There's a lot of history behind the Kelly Green and whatnot. But man, like Jalen Hurts has been doing those Hulu commercials. I don't know if you've seen them. And I'm just like, that's what I see when I look at those jerseys. So I'm here thinking like, holy cow, like we just got whomped by a bunch of guys wearing like sponsored Hulu jerseys. Like what's going on? But I mean, like I said, all jokes aside, they're obviously a very great team, but we played very well defense. There was a lot of good moments. And I mean, Tua, again, elite. I was very surprised at how well our O-line and our D-line played for the most part. We couldn't stop the run game. I mean, DeAndre Swift just went nuclear. Good for him.
He was a G. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those cuts he made were nasty. He's nasty.
Dude, and we just got to fix that. We just got to fix playing against the run game. But overall, offense looks stellar. Tyreek obviously looked fast as shit. I don't know how the guy does it. You blink and you miss him. Who else? Running game on our side, obviously not as great as it's been. Mostert, didn't have as good of a game, but obviously, the freaking. And I think, it's a double whammy for me because I swear every player on the Eagles is a Georgia Bulldogs player, and Florida's got to play the Georgia Bulldogs this weekend. And I'm just like, yeah, man, Georgia's going to find a way to like destroy my hopes and dreams, 2 weeks in a row. Shout out to them.
I feel good about Florida. Have you seen the spread? I'm going to look it up right now. I believe in Florida. I really do. For better or for worse.
I think you're trying to gaslight me into making a really bad bet. and I don't appreciate that, John, because I gotta be 100% honest with you, man. You're my boy, but I gotta be honest, man. I'm not feeling too good about upsetting, two-time back-to-back champions there.
Dude, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, speaking of green, we're both wearing green swag. I personally love the Eagles Kelly green. If I was an Eagles fan, I would probably have like 3 of those jerseys. But that reminds me of the Jets. When we played them, the Jets have beat both the Bills and the Eagles. That's going to be a pretty good series when we play against them. Because, I mean, they're 2-0 against the teams we're 0-2 against right now, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. They're like sneaky, I don't know if they're like a bad good team or if they're like a good bad team. It's really hard to tell. First and foremost, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. I might start doing ayahuasca, man, because that guy is already like without a brace. I don't know what like midnight dark therapy, like mushroom stuff or like whatever the hell he's doing that got him back. Like, I feel like this guy's going to come back. And if I know my luck, this guy's probably going to make his debut again against the Dolphins somehow. Who knows? That's pretty impressive. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, man, because they beat up some, 2 good teams, but then they've also lost against like some crappy teams. So it's really hard.
Zach Wilson. I can't wait to talk shit about Zach Wilson on those game day weeks. I love talking smack about Zachy boy.
I mean, I think as long as there's like no hot moms in the stands, I feel like I'm comfortable with the Dolphins, but if there's like a report, that like Sofia Vergara or like other hot moms is going to be in the stands, we're done. That's it. Because I don't know if you know, do you know about the thing that happened with him last
on it? The Mormon King, the Mormon Slayer.
Dude, that was crazy. Like, I mean, obviously, I obviously hate the Jets. They're a divisional rival, but like, game respects game. And as soon as I heard those news, I'm like, all right, this guy's all right.
This guy's a stud. It's easy to hate on him, but I like Zach Wilson. Like, if you watch him, he's got a crazy arm. He's got a cannon. He's an absolute athlete. And, I feel for him where he just gets dogged. He just gets dogged by everyone. I mean, I'm talking about like professional athletes, coaches, fellow NFL player, like everyone just dogs on this kid. And he is a kid. He's like, what, 23, 24 years old?
Basically.
Playing in New York City. So I feel for him. I definitely do. But, man, it is nice to get to lay some punches on him. I'm not going to lie. All right, hey, guess what the spread is on the Georgia-Florida game.
Oh, shoot. Spread, I'm going to go minus 14 and a half, Georgia.
You're spot on. Yep.
Really?
I'm taking it.
No, dead ass. You're lying.
God, it's 14 and a half. Georgia. Right now. Yep.
Oh, man, dude. We're going to get obliterated. Like,
dude, I'm putting all my weight in their tight end getting hurt. That is the only reason why I'm saying
he is hurt. He's already hurt.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, that's enough for me. And they haven't played anybody.
That is true. They really haven't played anyone.
Gators against Kentucky, and they smoked Kentucky. They smoked them 51-13.
Kentucky smoked us, which by college football logic, we should then be able to smoke Georgia.
Yeah,
so, maybe I might just like do a crazy parlay with Florida. They might come out and like do something crazy, but I don't know, man. I bet
to the game in Jacksonville before.
I have been.
How is it? Is it awesome?
You fear for your life, man. Like
people just barking at you on the beach.
Bro, it's not just that, man, but it's like, have you ever talked to like Florida fans that like didn't attend UF, but they're just like big fans? And I feel like this is probably true across most SEC schools that like you always have these like group of people that they're like diehard LSU fans, Bama fans, Florida fans, Mississippi State fans, Ole Miss.
From out in the sticks.
Yeah, but like they never attended the school. They're just like diehard. Yeah, man, and like you really see a lot of personalities at that game, both from the Georgia side as well as the Florida side. Dude, you kind of fear for your life a little bit that you're just like, a lot of these people have nothing to lose. So if I say something wrong, like, yo, that's it, bro, I'm out. But it's a fun match. It is fun. We did do it once back in when I was an undergrad. Fun time, but I would definitely say kind of proceed with caution if you do go to that game. And Florida fans are scary, Georgia fans are scary, and again, these are the ones that didn't attend the school. Just my 2 cents on that.
Wow, that's a fun fact. So, all right, man, how about this? I've never personally watched this show, Hard Knocks, ever. It's cool. I like the clips, but Miami Dolphins are the in-season Hard Knocks team. I didn't even know that was a thing. It's a thing. Miami Dolphins are on it. Sweet. Nice.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, have you seen like Hard Knocks at all? Like any episode in the past?
Maybe I've seen an episode, but like I've never watched it. Yeah.
It's a cool show, man. I feel like, if you genuinely enjoy football, like it is cool because you get like some cool insights. So before, how it used to be, the format was they would pick a team and they would kind of record them during like obviously training camp, during the preseason games. So you would get kind of this inside look into how the team operates during that time. So obviously New York Jets had the very last ones. They did the one with the Cowboys, actually. That one was pretty good. The ones that I've seen in the past, they did one with the Rams and the Chargers. They kind of did them the same season. That one was good.
Is this the first like mid-season one though, or has this been done before? Wow.
So they started doing, because before Hard Knocks was only preseason training camp.
Right.
But then I think like 2 years ago they debuted like an in-season one where it's the same format. You're like following teams around, but this is while the season is going. So I think the very first one was either with the Colts or the Cardinals. I got to be honest, I actually have not checked out the in-season ones, but I probably will. Obviously, with the Dolphins, I think it's going to be a lot of Mike McDaniel, like a lot of his antics.
Dude, the Mike McDaniel clips are going to be elite.
Oh, dude.
Elite.
The meme content is going to be nuclear, bro. Like, I love it. I'm excited for it. But here's the thing that makes me nervous, because here's a stat that I bet you didn't know about.
No.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly, every team that has been featured in Hard Knocks has not won a single playoff game in the season that they've been featured.
Yikes. That's the new Madden curse, huh? The Hard Knocks curse.
That seems to be it. To my knowledge, because I remember it was just like a random ass stat that I saw on Twitter one day. Obviously, I didn't look it up, but I'm just like, yeah, that sounds right. Like, yeah, I'll take information on the internet at face value. Yeah, why would you ever lie on the internet? But yeah, supposedly when you're on Hard Knocks, usually you're not really all that hot that season. Perfect example, the New York Jets, where obviously they were featured in the very last season that they just had. It was all about Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh, just like basically just being so excited to have him. And what happens? Very first game, Rodgers goes down. So Hard Knocks is undefeated against NFL teams. If you are featured on there,
I found an article. It's from July of this year. It says teams that have been on the Hard Knocks have posted a 142 and 147 record for the regular season. So under 500, but they have won postseason games. It's 4-7 record in the postseason.
Okay.
But yeah.
I don't know how much. Well, I mean, it's going to be fun. I might have to resubscribe to HBO just to see the Dolphins. There's going to be a lot of content on there. Obviously, I'm excited regardless. Just another fun thing to because again, I feel like as a Dolphins fan, we've never had a season where like Miami has been receiving this much attention. So it's just like all the media attention, now Hard Knocks. I think the Dolphins actually were on Hard Knocks, but this was like years ago. So I'm excited, bro, but I'm also nervous, but I believe in Mike, Drip God. He's going to figure it out.
Drip God. I guess before we move on, one last comment about Mike McDaniel. Some fun fact we found out. He's a sober brother, went through his trials and tribulations in the Atlanta Falcons organization. He had a bit of an intervention there. So as much as he may seem incoherent or under the influence, we can confirm he is a sober and godly man now, which is honestly, it's inspiring. He's an absolute bro. It's nice to see someone like that is so self-aware, and it's really motivating to be like, this guy is really giving his all to the sport, because I feel like in situations like that, you can't have downtime. You can't have time to yourself to kind of like consume yourself with your demons. And so, this man, Mike McD, drip god, Dolphins king, is really pouring his heart and soul into this Dolphins team and this project. So another reason to be optimistic about this season.
Dude, I mean, I remember you were actually the one that sent me that clip, and I got to be honest, that actually was not something that I was aware of. I mean, I had heard rumors that he had battled with like substances before, but I got to be 100% honest here. I legitimately thought that was just like people kind of gaslighting and just kind of talking smack about him, because he just kind of has that personality where you think that that's something he would do. So that's what I thought. But then when you sent me the clip and he actually talked about it, I was like, oh shit, dude. Good for him. First and foremost, that just made me like him even more. Because I think more than anything, as much as he is a great coach, as much as he is like a guy that, these other guys in the locker room, like they love him, more than anything, he's just like really human at the end of the day. And I think just kind of learning that about him, it was really interesting to me. I mean, I feel I don't know about you, but I've definitely had like my struggles with like alcohol a lot of the times. So kind of seeing that and seeing like the success that he's enjoyed, even everything that he went through, it was pretty cool. So no, man, like I just love the guy, and I feel like every time I hear something new about him, it's just something that makes him seem just like cooler, funnier, more human. And I don't know if you saw this clip, John. I probably didn't send it to you, but there was an interview where Tua was actually talking about that when Mike actually first came onto the team. Tua, being so scarred from the previous head coach, he didn't even want to laugh at any of Mike McDaniel's jokes because he legit was like so afraid. Dude, so for Mike McDaniel to come in and just connect with the quarterback and the rest of the team in the way that he did, I think, he's more than just like a head coach at this point. I mean, the guy is just, I don't know. He's very much just like a motivator. He's a player's coach. He's a dude's dude. And again, there's just nothing at this point that this guy could do. He can do no wrong in my eyes. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, amen. It's it's inspiring to be yourself, and he's definitely a prime example of that. And yeah, man, I think it's a perfect way to end the Miami Dolphins segment. We're on to the Patriots next weekend. Fins up, and where do we go from here, Juan?
So then we got to definitely talk about a little bit another Miami team, beating Clemson. You just absolutely love to see it. And again, we're both SEC guys, but I think more than anything, I just genuinely don't like Clemson as a team. I think Dabo Swinney is overrated. He managed to recruit 2 generational quarterbacks, but then after that hasn't really been able to do anything since. So shout out to the Canes coming back from 2 fairly tough losses back to back to obliterate a well-known and respected team in the ACC. I know they usually struggle against Clemson, but I think they did it with a backup QB, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, they did. Freshman quarterback, 3-star, coming in place for Tyler Van Dyke, who I think he was banged up in the North Carolina game. Like I said, like the O-line in that North Carolina game was just abysmal. And so he got hurt. And yeah, freshman quarterback, 3-star, the absolute dream as a college quarterback coming in. You as a player like that, you pick a school because you want to have a chance at playing. He probably could have gone to a non-power conference team and probably started, but he went there and got to live the absolute dream. Overtime win. They go for 2 points in overtime to seal the deal. I was watching a video today of the Clemson quarterback, who I think was the number 1 quarterback of his class, 5-star super player. He called an audible himself on the line of scrimmage on the goal line play, which is their last play. It was a run play. He called an audible and took it himself and got sacked in the backfield. So yeah, awesome Miami game. I love to see Dabo Swinney lose, and I agree. He's definitely fallen off. It really happened with the NIL. Like ever since the NIL came out, he was super against it and didn't really want to work with it. And it's just smacked him in the face because these kids. I mean, everyone, right? They're about that money. People are talking about like, oh, the college game's evolving. Like it's not the same sport that it was because like now the money's involved. I'm like, listen, it's been changing, it's been evolving, and the universities have been getting all this money. And who's making it? It's the kids. So it's like that point is just ridiculous. NIL is here to stay. Pay these kids. I mean, the money that these schools get from football is absolutely absurd. Dabo Swinney, catch up. You're getting absolutely smoked. I think Clemson's done. I think Dabo, I'm going to make a take here. Dabo's fired in 2 years, or he quits and resigns.
Ooh,
he becomes like a Gus Malzahn or something, where he maybe goes on commentary, or like goes to like a UCF program or some like, I don't know, Christian school. Dabo Swinney's done. You're not going to be the Alabama coach of the future, and good luck.
Dude, yeah. And you know what? That's funny that you mentioned that because I had the exact same take that the second this guy started coming out against NIL, I feel like he just slowly started declining, which was something I never understood why anyone would ever be against it. I mean, I always understood that, like, yeah, like if you come to the school, you can't like the university shouldn't like put you on their payroll and like pay you to play, like you are getting a scholarship. But it's like if a third party individual outside of the school wants to give you a set amount of money to like convince you to play for this team, like I never saw that as an issue because first and foremost, that's not every kid that's getting this. That's obviously like the elite 5-star talent. Like I don't know, if I had to guess, I feel like maybe 5% of all college football players, like they're the ones getting these crazy NIL deals. I think majority of them probably are just happy to be like getting a scholarship. So to make the claim that like this is going to be changing the game is bullshit because again, as you said it, John, the game, like colleges were already being influenced by money. It was all just being done under the table. Now it's all just simply official and it's a little bit possibly more controlled. But another reason why I never understood it, it's like, why do you care if someone is making more money? Like, do you get upset when you go get a haircut or like when you go get your teeth cleaned or something like that? Like somebody's giving you a service, they do a stellar job, but you're like, man, you know what would really make me feel better if this person was making less money doing that. Like, I appreciate you cutting my hair, cleaning my teeth, giving me this service, but fuck it. I really wish that you wouldn't be able to pay for daycare by giving me this. And I think you should be making, no, I'm serious. Like, to me, it's the same argument. It's like, if these kids are showing up and like they're doing their job and they're like playing their hearts out and they're winning games, it's like, why do you care what they're making outside of the field? But it's a different story if like this guy's getting like all this booster money or whatever it is and they're not performing, like that's a separate issue. But if they're coming in here and they're balling out, like, bro, what do you care? Just my thought.
Yeah, man. Facts. That's got to be one of the best professions, like managing NIL partnerships and stuff. I would love that job. If I had that job at like a big Power 5 school, I'm going to like all the car dealerships. I'm like, I need 3 Hellcats. I need 3 Mercedes S-classes. Dude, like, shower these kids. They're absolute athletes, and like they're talented. They're coming. Most of them are coming from not like super flashy backgrounds. There's a lot that's going to evolve in that space. And I was making jokes with like giving people cars. First of all, that is relevant. People want what they want. Kids are going to want a car, but it's going to be cool to see it have a more positive impact. For example, like, hey, maybe instead of a Hellcat, you'll get a Hellcat, and how about some sort of, I don't know, investment package?
Yeah.
There is some stock options that you can't take for like 10 years and like really start like financially educating these teenagers and setting up with financial advisors and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of good to come from it. It's really exciting, and maybe it's something like I want to try and get involved in, or we can get involved in. But it's like, for example, like there's so much opportunity to really like educate and change the future of these kids. But yeah, I'm just spitballing and rambling, so that's what I've got to say there.
Dude, that's a good take, man. I mean, Sport Spectator, we could be offering NIL deals in the next 10 years or so.
Let's go.
in the form of stock options. Hey, this won't be vested until you win a natty, something like that.
Oh, Sports Spectator stock options and Hellcats.
Yeah.
We'll get any player in the world. Yo, I want a Hellcat. I was driving around. I was driving behind one on the highway yesterday, and I was going out to Kendall, and the thing's a beast. All right, I'm done. I'm done talking about stock options and Hellcats. I'm just gonna put myself on mute now.
It's no more boats and hoes. It's stock options and Hellcats. Yeah, baby.
That's the name of this episode: stock options and Hellcats.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. Holy shit! How do we get on this topic from talking about the Canes and them beating Clemson?
Dabo Swinney led us here,
bro. Yeah, no. I don't know how much more we got to say on that, but yeah, I will be fully on record. Fuck Dabo Swinney. And Florida has never played the guy, but man, he just rubs me in just like the worst way. Everything about him is just so cringy. Like, thank God he lost. Like, God bless Mario Cristobal for beating him.
Amen.
Yeah, man. But another Miami team that we gotta talk about. Well, first and foremost, friendly reminder: Heat season starts this week. I will actually be at the Heat game against the Pistons.
Nice.
So definitely expect next week's episode. We're going to be talking a lot about the Heat versus the Pistons, but that's for next week. I think today, John, we got to talk Inter Miami, Luis Suarez. What do we got?
Yeah, it seems all but official. Luis Suarez, legendary Liverpool and Barcelona striker, rumored to be here. Tata Martino, the coach of Inter Miami, saying he's got a plan with him. He's got a plan without him. Luis Suarez wants to play with Messi. I think he's coming. They just officially announced that Josef Martinez is not returning. We made a video claim before that I was talking about Campana might be leaving. It seems like he'll probably stay. Josef Martinez is going. But the season ticket price increase for next season seems a lot more reasonable now that we have literally one of the most famous Barcelona teams pretty much playing in Miami now. So Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba, four former Champions League winning Barcelona players. It's going to be electric. And on top of that, Messi has come out and said he's not going on loan anywhere in this offseason. So Barca fans down tremendous. Damn. Messi's hanging out in Miami this summer, drinking mezcaleritas, puffing on zooties, and getting a tan. Not in Barcelona. So
dude, that guy just wants to be here for Miami Music Week.
Yeah.
Dude, he found out Ultra happens at Bayside, and he's just like, oh, I gotta stay here for this. Dude, all the hotel parties, the pool parties. Dude, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, Inter Miami season's over. They lost their last game of the season, meant literally and absolutely and totally nothing. So we go into hibernation, we train, and we make some signings. So looking forward to it.
So what do you think, John? Because I feel like maybe as a younger player getting signed to like Inter Miami, like 18, 19 years old, one of these guys, like how do you think it feels to be in a locker room with the likes of like Suarez and Messi? Like, what do you think you got to be feeling the second you step foot and you just see those guys just like hanging out? Maybe you got a locker like next to theirs. Like, what do you think those guys got to be thinking?
I mean, if I can correlate it anywhat to my experience standing next to Duncan Robinson, which was, they're probably an absolute shock and awe. But, it's amazing because you're learning from the best, and Messi is such a humble and open person, just from what you see. But when you're such a celebrity and icon like that, you see pretty much everything. And everything you see about him is just top class. So, like Benjamin Karaski, who's 19 years old, I think, maybe 20. There's a couple other like 20 and 19-year-old kids that on that team. They are on cloud nine. They're playing with an absolute hero to them. Since they were in kiddie camp at like 5 years old, probably wearing Messi jerseys. Yeah. They're super lucky. And Miami is lucky to have him as that guide for these younger players because, maybe if a player was, out of 100 scale at a level 50, being able to be around Messi immediately jumps him up to like 75. It's incredible. So very intimidating, very humbling, but it's an amazing opportunity for all these players to learn from that are on the younger side for sure. And we're seeing that. It's happened.
Dude, yeah, that's insane. I mean, I always thought that was that's always a thought that I have in any sport that, obviously a lot of these guys have been playing for like decades, that if you're like one of the younger guys that's coming onto the team, there's a very real possibility that not that long ago you were a fan before you became a player, and now to suddenly be able to call these guys like teammates. But I think it's just a little different with like Messi and Suarez, because I mean, these guys aren't just like legends. They're like international icons. Obviously, if you're like a younger guy, you're like go and play with LeBron. Like that's obviously insane, but you can't compare LeBron to like Messi and these guys in terms of like impact that they've had like literally across the world. I don't know. I always like to think about that. Like if I was in that situation, which obviously I will never, no matter what I do, be in that situation. Yeah, but I always think about it. It's just like, holy shit, that's just gotta just feel like a surreal dream. Like you're just like an out of body experience.
It's nuts too, because it's so good for Miami, because on the negotiating table, it's so easy. Like if you're approaching any team or player and like, hey, we want you to play for Miami, we have Messi. And it's in Miami. It's like the easiest sell ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you want to go play for what? Minnesota? Cincinnati? Do you know what they have in Cincinnati? Nothing. They got cheap real estate, but it's for a reason. Like, would you rather have, a 4-bedroom in Coconut Grove or in some random ass like county in Cincinnati? Like, nah, I'm obviously going to pick that and go play with Messi every single time. Easily.
Yep.
Easily.
Facts.
Yeah, man. No, that's dope, dude. When's Inter Miami going to sign you? I think that's the question all the fans want to know.
I'm ready, man. Dude, just get me on that field. I'm ready. Yo, you know what? Maybe one of these episodes we should just do I just like go streaking across the field or something, wearing like a Sports Spectator t-shirt or something. I've been watching like videos. There's been like more and more people running across sports fields, getting laid out. This past weekend in Alabama, when they played Tennessee, some kid did ran across the field like after the game, like the stadium was empty, and some security guard just trucked him.
I saw that. Yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
So yeah, man. But dude, I would love to just run and play on one of those fields. Like just like the grass is just so perfect. It's just so perfect.
John, I believe it's called a pitch, not a field.
Excuse me. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, man. I'm here. I'm here, guys. Whenever you need me. I'm a little bit injury prone, but still got it.
Still got it. Well, I need you for at least a couple more episodes before Inter Miami takes you, and then they're they can keep you for maybe on a loan or something. We'll figure out like a 2-way contract situation.
Sounds good.
But yeah, man. So here's a fun question for you then. With all of the increase in streaking, do we think that fans are getting more athletic, or that stadium security is getting softer? What are your thoughts?
I think fans are just getting more bold. They're like, screw it, do it for the gram. I think it was funny. When I was listening to Pardon My Take today, they had the same kind of segment where they're like laying someone out for like a field security guard is like their Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and I agree, because I mean, like we've both had experiences with bar bouncers, and if they're anything like bar bouncers, they're definitely just locked and loaded for any moment that comes up like that. So. What do you think?
I don't know. I think that stadium goers are simply getting tougher. I feel like
they're built
lately
now.
There's a big increase in like fitness, and like now going to the gym and like staying in shape is like the cool thing to do. So I don't know. I think stadium security is getting soft. It's washed. It's not what it used to be. It was running the league for many, many years, but I think now it's balls in the fans' corner, in that the fans are running the show.
You know what I want to get a stat on is the amount of fields rushed per season over like the past 10 or 20 seasons, and it's definitely had to have gone up, I feel like, and like when there's like an upset or something. So I agree. Stadium goers up, stadium security
Trending
down.
Yeah. So there's some sort of opportunity there. I haven't quite thought of it. Maybe we can get a security guard. Maybe the guy that even laid out that kid in the Tennessee game, I think is the one. Get him on the pod and get him on the pod and get his thoughts. I would love to have him.
Yeah, that's definitely like a guy that went to walk on tryouts and didn't make it. He's like, I'm gonna just hit stick, borderline paralyze some kid one day.
Dude, it is what it is. All right, man. So I want to do a bit of a fun segment here. I want to get your thoughts. So I want to ask you. I'm going to give you a head coach in the NFL, and just based on his looks, based on his personality, you're going to tell me what you think this guy would be doing if he was not a head coach in the NFL. So first one, we got to go with our boy, the drip god. If Mike McDaniel was not a head coach, what do you think he would be doing?
So I'm going to go Mike McDaniel, high school English teacher.
Okay,
because he would have the craziest, he would have the craziest takes on like a book reading, like just pulling out like just absolute master big brain correlations on what's it called. Can you imagine what he would have to say about like the Lord of the Flies?
Dude,
it would be the most crazy classes.
Yo, what a take. Yeah, just like an AP high school English teacher. Dude, that would be lit. Like, he would definitely be one of those guys that you would get on his class and, you know, he'd be like, all right, guys, like, I'm Mr. McDaniel, but you can just call me Mike. I don't have any homework. Friday is chill. Just come and do whatever. Just make sure you do the readings and we'll be good.
Dude, literally. Yeah, spot on. What about you? What about you?
So I'm going to go with, I'm going to keep it in the division. I'm going to go with Bill Belichick, head coach of the Patriots. I think if he was not a head coach, I honestly could see him fitting very well in like a Sopranos type of a mob. I could 100% see him just being like a ruthless mobster.
Yes, just down hits left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he obviously doesn't have the New Jersey accent, but obviously, like, he has kind of like a funny accent a little bit. It's like very, very Bill Belichick. But I could definitely see him like, you know, he'll loan you money and he's just like, all right, John, I'm gonna give you this money. It's on 5 points. I expect payment next week. You know, you come in, you don't have the money, and he's just like, John, what's going on, baby? Where's my money? Dude, and you just tell him, it's just like, oh, Bill, like, my bad, man. You know, I'm expecting some payment next week. And he's just like, that's funny. Definitely could have sworn I said to give it this week, bro. And he just goes full on lethal and just basically like takes you out on the spot. And you know, he probably would be like strategic about it too. Like, he would be so good about like burying the body, and like the cops would just be like chasing after him for years, but like they would never be able to get him.
He'd be like the guy that's like Al Capone, but didn't get caught or get syphilis. Bill Belichick.
100%. So then, all right. So here's another one that I'm sure you probably have thoughts on. So Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Cowboys. If he was not a head coach, what do you think he would be doing?
Yeah, something blue collar. I'm gonna go with he runs a plumbing chain. I'm gonna say several different locations across the Massachusetts, Boston area. Hardworking family, but respectable. Kid plays ball, maybe a quarterback.
Dude, probably like would be a huge chain smoker, ripping like 7 heaters a day, basically.
Who can I think of for you? Let me give you one. I'm gonna go with. How about Pete Carroll of the Seahawks?
Oh man, I think that guy would definitely be. I think that guy would be in like insider trading.
Yes.
100%. Like, he would come up to you just like chewing his gum. It's like, he'd be like, "You looking at any symbols?" Dude, are you just there? Like, you're probably just like an analyst at like, this little firm just got hired. Like, big bad Mr. Carroll comes in and you're just like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just I'm doing some analysis." He's just like, "You want me to let you in on a little secret?" He wouldn't do drugs. He somehow would be the only insider trader that, like, he would be absolutely clean, like, would not consume any drugs, but it is just like the nastiest, like just like the pump and dump. Like, he would basically convince you to like convince all of your clients to buy into like some random ass symbol, like some company that's headquartered in like Delaware or like North Dakota, and he's just like, yeah, you gotta get this one moving, and you don't know why, bro. And he just convinces you, makes a shitload of money, gives you like a 1% cut, and he's like, good job,
Good job, buddy.
Stop.
Just slaughtering retail investors.
Dude, I could 110% see that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's spot on. So we got Mike McDaniel, the high school English teacher. We got Bill Belichick, one of the most ruthless mobsters in history. Mike McCarthy, the plumbing chain owner and operator of the Boston, Massachusetts area, and Pete Carroll, the dragon slaying insider trader Wall Street kingpin.
So we gotta go with one last one for you, just because you mentioned them earlier. So if Nick Sirianni was not a head coach for the Eagles, what do you think he would be doing?
Wow. Nick Sirianni. I would make him the most obnoxious NFL analyst. Just because, like, I don't know, it's not the best one, but like he was in a press conference like the other night, or maybe after the game yesterday, just like complaining about like how everyone talks bad about like the tush push and like if everyone can do it like they would and I'm the best, blah blah blah. He would just be like that NFL analyst that everyone hates. He like always makes like these takes, but just like, yeah. I don't know. What about you? Does anything come to your mind?
I feel like he would be an assistant manager at like a Kinko's or like
Dude, yes.
or like a Staples or something like that.
Yes, some sort of salesman position or something.
Yeah, dude, just I don't know. He kind of rubs me as like a dorky guy, potentially. Obviously, like incredible football coach. Like, I'm not gonna take that away from him, but if he didn't have that, I think he would just be like a very average individual. Like, he would be working at like your local Staples, basically his whole life, would make like assistant manager and just would never be able to like move up from there. Just because he would always figure out like a way to like break the printer, and like a customer would complain. It would come like review time and he'd be like, "Oh, am I finally get promoted?" And it's just like, I don't know, Nick. I mean, listen, man, like, you had the issue with the printer. We had to pop this guy's like, $1,000 worth of prints, man. It's like the second time it's happened in the 2 years. Like, you're good, Nick, you're good, but you really want this manager position. Like, you really got to step it up. And Nick's like, yeah. His girlfriend's like cheating on him. He's just like, yeah, baby, I didn't get it. And she's just like, oh, Nick, I'm so sorry.
I'm with the manager of Lowe's. You're just not good enough.
Yeah. She's just like, oh, I need a man who's a manager.
That's a good segment. I like that.
I'm glad you liked it there.
So,
man.
Is this where we wrap up?
I think so. I think we got through everything. I feel like the only thing we didn't do was my top 5 athletes of the week. I didn't give this one. Actually, no, I did give it a good bit of thought. I'm going to start us off. Number 5, got to give it to the backup quarterback for the Dolphins. No joke there. Like, just a stud. Like, literally. No inside joke there.
Just existing?
Just existing, man. Like, shout out beating Clemson, dude. Can't spell Clemson without an L, and he gave it to them.
Oh, the backup quarterback of Miami. I thought you meant like the Dolphins. I was like, shout out.
No. Oh, sorry. The Canes and Hurricanes. Yeah.
Got it.
Number 4, I'm going to give it to Mike Gesicki. Scored the go-ahead touchdown against the Bills, keeping us firmly in place. in the AFC East. Shout out Mike Gesicki. Let's see. Number 3, I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it to Javon Holland, just because it was really funny watching him try to stop the tush push with his jump this week against Philadelphia. You know, he swear he was Troy Polamalu. So shout out to him. Like
Dedication.
dedication. I'm actually going to give another shout out to the University of Alabama, top 5 Miami athletes of the week. Why? Because they gave us a great matchup between Jalen and Tua. I'm going to be honest; it was very fun to watch that.
Nice.
And I'm going to give my number 1 spot of the week to the weather. It's been really nice and cool in Miami. I appreciate the weather. But I appreciate it for not always being here, because you and I both know that if it was always this nice and cool, I would not be able to live here. Rent would be like 3 times as much. So shout out to the weather for only being here, you know, a couple weeks in the year, and then knowing when it's time to leave and let it be blistering hot, so that the people that can't survive in the heat don't stay in the heat.
Amen. Today was a dry fit and pants day, an immaculate combination walking over to work on a Monday.
Oh, dude.
Cool breeze on the top and protected in the legs.
Things you love to see, that.
Yes.
All right, baby. Well, I think that is a wrap for episode 5. All right.
Everybody have an awesome Halloween. Let us know what your costumes are in the comments or in the poll. I'm going to make it a poll on Spotify. Most of our listeners are on Spotify. But wherever you are, have a great Halloween. Be safe. And fins up.
Fins up, baby. Take it easy, Spectator Nation.
Later.